So there's all kinds of truths. You got true blue, true love. The truth will set you free. Hell, I don't know. But the only one that really matters as far as biking goes is this kind of true. Let's get on topic. Hey everybody, it's Thomas with Get Out Arizona, and you are watching another episode of Toolbox Topic. I'm joined today with my co-host Brandon Van Leuven. Brandon, how the hell are you?
I'm groovy.
Awesome. And of course, we're at Trek Bicycle Store of West Phoenix in Goodyear, Arizona. As always, you couldn't pick a better place for Toolbox Topic. So, Brandon, I got a little joke for you today.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So a photon walks into a hotel and he goes up to the concierge desk to check in, and the concierge says, "Hey, can I help you with your bags?" And he says, "No worries, I'm traveling light."
Very nice. It's a good thing you're a dad.
Pay no attention. Again.
I get it.
He's just here for his looks, guys. No, but seriously. So as you might have gathered from the introduction, we're going to be talking about truing wheels, why it's important, and how you true wheels. Now, I know when I first started cycling, Brandon, we'd flip the bike upside down, dial in the brakes if we didn't have a truing stand, and then just kind of spin and tighten or loosen or whatever the case may be. It was kind of that simple man's method.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. There's stories that I have of my grandfather flipping his bike upside down and one eye closed and a thumb out.
Right.
His wheels that way.
Yep.
So, nothing wrong with that.
So there's a couple different, and there's also some myths involved in what to do and what not to do. You see a lot of stuff online. And contrary to popular belief, just because you can true a rim, because that's what we're doing, the wheel, doesn't mean you're a wheel builder.
I completely agree with that.
I've seen some guys out there, I can build wheels. Really? How many have built? Nah, I true my rims all the time. Okay.
That's another episode.
Yeah, remind me not to ride your bike. So, so what are some of the basics before we actually give a little bit of a demonstration to the people at home? And again, this is an elaborate truing stand. This is a very high grade professional one. Parks actually makes a couple different levels, which I could put some links down below. And there's some other brands that offer truing stands and everything. And there's the third hand way of doing it, of course, too. But in regards to using a truing stand and everything like that, what are some of the, before we get into it, some of the things that people at home need to know about truing their rims, do's and don'ts, and how important is a truing stand for accuracy?
To answer your last question first,
Okay.
I think it's extremely important for a number of reasons. We can, the feelers on here allow us to, really bring that into almost within the point where we can't even see light.
Okay.
In between there. With those other methods we talked about at home, yes, it's going to get us close, but this is really going to give us the opportunity to make a very, very close, as we like to say, close true.
Right.
For sure.
So now, in that regard, is there any type of inherent danger? I mean, if you loosen too much or tighten too much, can you have a catastrophic mechanical failure out on the road or trail if you true it incorrectly? Or is it just going to warble around? See, like how I do that? Getting jiggy with it? I'm joking. That's another episode too. On a different channel. Skinamax. No, I'm joking. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brandon.
You could definitely make things worse if you're not quite used to it or have the right tools. The things that we see quite a bit are people make big changes.
Okay.
And what we do when we're truing wheels, we make very, very small changes.
All right.
And incrementally, almost by the fraction of a millimeter, bring these feelers in. The other thing we see is people don't use the correct tool.
Right.
So this is
that's a nipple wrench.
One example of a spoke wrench or a nipple wrench, and this is the right tool for the job. Using needle nose pliers rounds these guys out, and
yeah.
We
It's
like
good
a
rule
nice
of thumb.
round nipple,
Don't
but
use
not on
needle
our
nose pliers on your nipples. It's not good. Or channel locks for that matter.
And you talk about those big changes. People like to make
right.
Big long turns, and what happens then is we get very uneven spoke tension. We're trying to keep the spoke tension as even as possible throughout.
Okay.
These situations change as wheels get older, as they get more beat up. But as we're dealing with new wheels and new builds, it's very easy just to make small changes and get a very, very true wheel out of it.
Now, obviously, there's different types of rims. You have your standard alloy rims, carbon fiber rims, and there's also different types of spokes and nipples. I've noticed over the last several years. You have carbon spokes, bladed spokes that are alloy, bladed spokes that are carbon. The nipples themselves are made out of titanium. Some of them are kind of riveted in, I've seen on composite wheels and stuff. How do all these things make the job of truing the wheel different? I mean, obviously, well, I'm saying obviously, but I may be incorrect.
Right.
You have to approach each wheel based on its composition and spoke tension and tensile strength and stuff like that.
That's true. We are, this is going to be more of the basic theory of it, but yes, when it comes down to the different wheels, we have a number of things like when you talk about the bladed ones, we have bladed spoke holders.
Okay.
So that when you are actually doing the truing, you hold a blade in position, because you'll see sometimes, let's go back to, things that we see sometimes that are wrong.
Right.
By twisting a bladed spoke, that blade will twist as well. We want to hold that blade in place.
So
It's funny to see an aerodynamic wheel with all the blades more like
to push
more
air
like
up on the person while they're
more like a
riding, keep
ceiling
them
fan
cool,
than
right?
an aerodynamic wheel.
Right.
So you're absolutely right. There's a number of different things to consider. Also, these are very basic tools for the nipples that we've been using for years and years. The more sophisticated ones have grooves in them, like the Mavic ones. Shimano has specific grooves and larger larger diameter nipples. There's a ton out there.
Ton of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Is there, because we've talked about this in the drive chain episode, you'll see some exotic derailleur builds and stuff of that nature. Is there any advantage or disadvantage on material composition, the flavor of the wheel build, or for the most part, a carbon rim with good tensile strength spokes is going to be just as good, maybe in some respects better, because it's not an exotic or a custom build than a custom build one, or aerodynamic rims like Zip has, and spokes and everything like that. Is that just basically, hey, you'll never notice the difference, you're just tossing your money into the wind to say you have this hub set, rim set, spoke set, and everything like that? Or
Well, there are different wheels for different jobs. Those aerodynamic wheels you were talking about are fantastic.
Yeah.
They are absolutely aerodynamic. They fall short in some instances, like a crosswind component and things like that, where they can actually do more harm than good in some cases.
Right.
Most wheel manufacturers try to take that into consideration when building the shape of their wheel. But I would say the wheel a person rides is very much dependent on the most riding
Style.
that they do. Unless you got that kind of money to throw a different wheel set on for every condition.
Right.
Most of us try to get a wheel that is going to work for most of our
Well-rounded.
conditions that we ride. You were talking about materials. If we can get you into a carbon fiber rim, it's a fantastic material. We've seen those things come through some really, really harsh crashes, and we can true them up. They don't tend to break. If you do break a spoke, sometimes a wheel stays absolutely true still, even with a broken spoke. Hard to say about an aluminum wheel.
Right.
If we break one spoke, we see a huge change in,
Right.
in the trueness of that wheel. So carbon fiber is awesome in all respect. It is
Okay.
very, very good.
good to know. All right, well, why don't you give us a little demonstration? We're going to switch spots, and I'm actually going to step out of the frame a little bit. Give us a demonstration on what you would do going through this rim if a customer brought it in and said, hey, it's warbling, and you were going to true it. So
Yeah, absolutely.
let's see your magic, Magic
Oh,
Man.
Well, luckily,
Magic Man.
I contrived this on my own, so I was going to make it real easy.
Real easy, okay.
What we have here is we have a brand new wheel, and
The last time he said something was really easy, we had to find bail money. Joking. Guys, I can't help myself. What am I going to do? All right, Brandon, go ahead. Go ahead. All right.
we've determined the proper size of the nipple was for this green guy here. I think we're at number 1 here, park number 1, and we're going to go first of all start wide, and just give this guy a spin. And I'm going to bring our feeler in, very small changes like we're talking about, until we start hearing and seeing the rub. Hopefully we can hear that at home just fine. So back to a little bit of the theory. We have 2 sides, 2 flanges here. This flange goes to this side, this obviously flange goes to this side, and they are alternating. So what I want to do is making very small changes, whichever way I need the wheel to go to make it straight. In this case, my feel is from here to here, so I need to pull the wheel this way, excuse me, the rim this way. So using this side, I'm going to tighten. This side, I'm going to loosen. That is going to bring the wheel over to the side that I want it to go. So here's about where the feeler hits to about here. So I'm talking about these 4 spokes right now. So I'll tighten, very small changes, and loosen. I'll give another spin. It's a little less. So now so now I'm pretty much within 3 spokes. Tighten, loosen, tighten, loosen, tighten. And then we're going to spin it again. It's getting quieter. Thank you for the assist.
You're welcome. That's why you don't put bourbon in the coffee in the morning, guys.
Now that we're looking a little better there, I'm going to bring the feelers in one more time. And I found another spot on this wheel. The spot on this wheel where we're touching is about this range of spokes right here. And I need to, once again, since the feeler's on this side, I need to pull the wheel this way. So tighten, loosen, tighten, loosen. And that's already making some very nice changes there. With nothing touching visibly or audibly, I can bring the feelers in one more time. And now we're talking about these 3 spokes here. Once again, pulling it that way, away from the feelers. And now we're getting close. We're getting good. As I bring the feeler in, I'm finding that spot again. And every time I hear that sound or I can see it, I'm going to pull away from where the feeler is touching. Some things that can affect how easy a wheel true is are if we have a rim that is dented or has gone through some kind of catastrophic hits. Typically a dent in here.
That would be my rims.
Will never come out true again. If we're dealing with an old wheel that has perhaps corroded nipples. Nothing?
Don't blame this on me. Oh, I thought you were looking at me like, hey, you know.
I was waiting for something.
Well, you know, sometimes they get raw. What are you going to do? You're just tweaking them like that all the time? Bad things are going to happen. Or good things, depending on how you look at it.
Rusted, corroded nipples can also make the job a little bit harder.
You said harder. Good stuff.
Good.
We're in negotiations with Skinamax right now, ladies and gentlemen. So,
and now I've come to the point where we're really almost rubbing on the entire rim. So now I can back off and see that I have almost less than a millimeter of room in between my feeler and my rim. That's very acceptable.
Awesome.
And I would consider this a true wheel at this point.
Okay. And hopefully you guys, we'll be able to see that. I'll zoom in and everything like that. Obviously, what you see and everything, you can see that process and everything. This isn't just loosen, tighten, loosen, tighten. There's a science behind it.
Yeah.
That you should be aware of. Now, I'm sure with a little practice and, the help of a chewing stand, at least a reasonable chewing stand, you can get good at it. And it is definitely one of those, maybe not a preventative maintenance, but a maintenance when it comes up issue that a mechanically inclined rider could take care of on their own at their home.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
and I think really the key is small changes. I can't say that enough. Whenever I'm teaching someone to true a wheel, it's all about making small changes. The bigger changes that we make not only can make it even more warbly, as you like to say,
right.
But also we get very different changes in spoke tensions, which can make the wheel actually weaker.
Okay. Well, good
Small
information
changes.
now. All right, guys. Well, there you have it. The story of the true rim. So remember, it's really important. You start noticing something like that on your bike and it's rubbing and everything like that, get into the bike shop right away. Definitely don't let it go. You don't want to have that type of failure out on the trail. And of course, when it happens, it's not 100 yards from your vehicle. It's like 7 miles away from your vehicle and you're walking back at that point. So, Brandon, I can't thank you enough for joining us again.
Hope it was all right.
I think it would be
All
just
right.
fine. So don't listen to them. They're all good. Whether they're bad, they're still all good. So no, but seriously, guys, we want to thank you for tuning in once again to the Toolbox topic. If you found this episode enjoyable, possibly educational, definitely laughable, hit the like button as well as the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the ding-ling-ling bell notification icon, so that way when new videos post, whether it's Toolbox topic or on the trail, you'll be the first to know. Maybe not the first to know, but one of the first to know, and that's important. So as always, there's going to be links down below to Trek West Bicycle Store. There's also going to be links down below to some different tooling stands, not just the Park Tools ones, so you guys have a selection to look, maybe figure out which one's going to be best for you. And as always, those links are not affiliate links. So click them, use them. We, Get Out Arizona, we don't receive anything for that. We just want to make sure you guys have an informed selection to choose from. It's important to us. So obviously the bike shop uses Park Tools. I've used Park Tools before in the past. They work great. I've never had an issue with it, but there's definitely some other companies out there that might work better for you. So as always, guys, remember to be kind to yourself and others. Be amazing stewards on the trail. And I got to ask, what are you waiting for? Get out, Arizona. Brandon, thank you so much once again. We appreciate it as always. Guys, have a great day, and we'll see you on the next adventure.